All right, now that I've revealed that I actually got my hands on one of these 2-speed golf cart rear ends, I'm gonna take you through a little bit more of an in-depth look at it. So, typical to a club car or something like that, you usually get one long axle, one short axle. I ordered mine exactly this way. I didn't want it painted, I didn't want the purchase put on, I didn't want the brakes put on. I didn't want anything attached to the axle shaft because I'm going to mock up a 4-link suspension for this. And so I really don't know where anything needs attached relative to where the shifter has to be, where the motor has to be, all of those things. So when I did it, I had them give me 2 long axle shafts. And if I look, let's say at the hub to hub, I am right about 47 inches. This is a little bit wider than what you're normally getting in a golf cart rear end. And so that's gonna help me from having to put such large, I guess, spacer adapters on. The ones that I found a great deal on on Jeep rims. You can find them all over because everybody who owns a Jeep wants to upgrade. So I wanted to go with the 5x100 because of the fact that I could get a set of 5 with brand new rims, brand new tires. I picked these up for $600. And they're massive. They're, I think 31 and a quarter is probably the 31-ish is the overall. So USA Adapters sells any adapter that you want, any space you want. So you can choose the adaptation from the 4 to the 5. You can make it 2 inches wide, 3 inches wide. They do all kinds of widths. They were great to work with. I ordered from their website and they actually called me on the Monday after I ordered on the weekend and said, you know, hey, we want to confirm since you can't send these back, we cut these and we send these to you. So we want to make sure that this is exactly what you wanted. So we went through everything and it was, you know, exactly as I ordered. So these will go in, then they bolt together and then it adapts to the Jeep rear end, or the Jeep tires. And so by doing that, I should get a little bit extra width. And if I wanted to, I could have gone wider. But I think this will give me enough stability in what I'm looking for. Gonna go with these Fox shocks that I'm gonna mount as far out as I can. And then a triangulated 4-link suspension that attaches to the top and bottom of this rear end. So in first looks, this thing is just bizarre. I've never really seen something that has the ability to switch from a 10-to-1 gear ratio, which is going to, you know, if you look at the club car high-speed rear ends, I think those gear ratios are 6-to-1, but those were originally made for more DC motors that really aren't spinning the RPMs that the AC motors are now. And so really, to be honest with you, 10-to-1 is really all that I need because I don't need to drive this thing 50 mile an hour. I've seen the crashes that people do in golf carts at 40 mile an hour or 20 mile an hour, and that's enough for me. So I do want the ability to drive a little bit faster if I want to, but the biggest thing was the torque, because I've got these massive tires. I want something that I know can handle that, and that was my biggest thing when researching to try to find this unicorn, is that it was capable of holding up to some massive amount of torque. And everybody that I've talked to said, if you can find somebody who has one, that they do. This company, I believe, dabbles in mining equipment and things of that nature. So they should be able to create something that is extremely, extremely well built. And I'm assuming that this is from the reviews that I got from everybody. So it comes with this shifter kit. Basically all it is a low and high speed shifter. So it has synchros in it. You can shift on the fly. Obviously you don't want to go from high speed down to low speed shifting on the fly because you're going to immediately probably lock up your tires because it's not going to be able to keep up with that speed. But the great thing is you can shift on the fly. So let's say you're coming out of a hole, if you're down in a gravel pit or something like that, you want to climb, but you don't want to stop, then shift. You can just shift on the fly. So, I mean, you're going 10 mile an hour, shift into high speed, and then take off and go down the road, which I love. I've talked to a few people, and there's the people that are especially helpful were on the EV group for like doing self builds, and they put me in contact with the right people. And what I read, or what they were telling me, is that the seals for this are actually in the rear end rather than on the axle shaft. So if you wanted to, you could technically take these axles off, the axle tubes, and take the axles out, and then make yourself some kind of an adapter and make yourself a independent rear suspension. Nothing that I'm going to get into. I don't need anything that fancy, but that's just an option for people if they're thinking of something that they wanted to do. The size of these axles coming out of here look massive. I don't know what the actual size is. I'm not going to take it all apart or anything, but I just wanted to give you a more in-depth overview of it, because the one thing that a lot of people may not understand is this also can be made into a 4x4. So it has the adaptation where there's a 90-degree gearbox that basically goes on here, and then you have a drive shaft that goes up to your front, and then they sell a specialized front differential. And so you have an electrical switch, I believe, so it's driving all the time, and then you can, when you need to shift into four-wheel drive, I don't know if that's on the fly also, you just flip your switch and it engages that front differential, and you're in four-wheel drive. I can't imagine there's a time, in Indiana we don't get that much snow, number one, but I can't imagine there's a time that I'm gonna be in deep enough mud with electric that I'm really going to worry about needing four-wheel drive. But we'll see. I have that option available to me if I ever want to do it, so that's kind of a cool thing. Then next is they come dry, so you got to put your fluids in it, but this is a limited slip differential. So that is one big thing that, in my opinion, is a huge upgrade when you're looking at any golf cart rear end. Is, like the DS rear ends are the ones a lot of people are using, because you can throw the, I don't remember what the limited slip differentials cost, but I don't know how beefy they are. I believe you can even get a locker for these. I haven't really delved too much into that, but I believe you can actually get a locker for them. So having the limited slip differential, you obviously have to put the specialized fluid in it for the ability to keep that in good shape. But the limited slip makes the world of difference when you are climbing hills. The Gem cars are naturally a front-wheel drive car. I'm completely abandoning that scenario because I am adding Navitas to this. And typically, Navitas is so powerful on the takeoff. You're spinning tires, you're doing all kinds of stuff. So I wanted something that I could throw on the rear end, so that if I wanted to climb a hill, that the rear tires obviously dig in so much better when it's a rear-wheel drive car. And since I am jacking it up and taking it off the road a little bit, not a lot, I wanted that option available. So going to a rear-wheel drive vehicle, then adding the Navitas, and then on top of it getting the ability to switch from 10-to-1 to 20-to-1, this thing should be a beast. I don't know. I've thought a lot of my ideas were fun and were gonna be great, and they just didn't turn out so well. This one, I really do believe that we're gonna see some cool stuff. So I would love for you guys to follow along. I have the YouTube channel, it's 170.5. And if you wanna like and subscribe, then you'll get alerted to when I have new videos coming out. But my goal is to have this mounted this weekend, to have the little extended weekend, at least tacked in so I can check the suspension. I'm gonna add some weight to it, see how the tires fit with the front fenders. The rear, there's really no issue because I can cut out the cab that sits on the back, and I'm gonna make this into a totally modified beast. So I'm hoping that all goes as planned, and if it doesn't, then we'll deviate from the original plan and we'll go from there. But I appreciate you watching the video, and like I said, like and subscribe. We'll go from there.